So,
Mayor, any words for that?
Santana, just pull it out. Look, we're moving forward. I mean, at the end of the day, that's it. Moving forward. Your rent, you don't pay. You don't pay your gas, you don't pay your electric. You're given at least 6 months to work something out. We've been waiting at least 900 days to do something here, and you know, all they said is no. So my answer is no. We're moving forward. Contract's revoked. Let them bid for it again. If they're successful in being picked as the operator again, God bless them. But right now, we need a level playing field. We're restoring the park, and we expect to have the tennis facility fixed and ready for tennis back this fall.
Thank you, sir. And I understand that you played here years ago, is that it?
My daughter.
Your daughter?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit. Are you happy with what's going on, the reconstruction and rebuild of Memorial Field?
I am happy. I just hope that we can have an opportunity to make it happen, to actually see Memorial Field come back again.
Amen. Now, you think that those people there protesting, did they use this field actually to, you know, brought their families here and had some fun, or they just strictly tennis people?
Tennis people, baby.
Give me a chance to talk. Give me a chance to talk.
You know, I'm not going to comment on that part. I just think that, you know, they had an opportunity. They didn't do what they needed to do. We need to move forward with Memorial Field. That's it.
So Mt Vernon is moving forward.
Yes.
How you doing?
Thank you.
And what do you think?
Well, I think the mayor's doing a good thing. That's all I know. It's time for Mt Vernon to have Memorial Field back, and that's what this mayor is doing.
Ask Keller.
Previous administration didn't do that.
Said no.
So we just want what's right for Mt Vernon also.
Look, I can tell you right now, there was no other way.
To answer your question about, do you know how many kids are being brought up from here?
Look, what I know is the following.
Do you know how
We're
many
on a
kids are being
construction
brought up
schedule.
from Mt Vernon that are going to college from here?
We're on a construction schedule. We're given an opportunity. Didn't take it. And we said, and I made it clear, look, and I can tell you unequivocally, not enough. Yeah, not enough. And when I hear from them, the same way I hear from these people, not enough. Our people get chased off the Pelham tracks. Our people get chased out of other communities. No, this is about right now. And what I'm telling you is there's no track here for our families in our city to use. And I'm telling you, there are other tennis facilities that they can use, but right now this one is unavailable. It's under construction. Under construction.
A question for you.
Yeah.
You think there is more people that will benefit from the tracks or from the tennis?
They could benefit from all angles, but
But who you think most will benefit, tennis or track? Talking about the people of Mt Vernon. The majority of the people of Mt Vernon.
I'm involved in tennis, and
I'm not asking about tennis. I'm asking you a general question.
I'm not an expert on track, but I'll tell you something. That the kind of development that's coming out from the tennis was going to be even much more than what's there. There are people that you could talk to right now. Some kids from Mt Vernon that went into school and colleges, got scholarships to go into colleges just because of tennis coming from here.
There is hundreds and thousands of kids getting scholarship from tracks and athletics as well. So who you think will benefit more? Mt Vernon, tennis players or track field?
Stand the same way?
Tennis.
Or you're going to build it better?
Tennis.
I would doubt it.
Or it's going to be like this?
Who is? I'm involved in tennis. There is most people are involved in track than actually tennis. Just look at the.
Why should it be a fight between tennis and
No, it's not a fight between tennis and track.
You're trying to make me compare the two. Why is
Well,
that
I'm talking about the people of Mt Vernon. Who you think will benefit most?
Why should it be tennis or track? Why can't it be both?
Well, it's going to be both. Just now they have to do reconstruction. They have to move the thing forward.
Tennis and track. I have no problem between tennis and
A lot of
track.
stuff is going wrong.
My question to you is, if
I
you
can't
referred,
answer that question
you-
because there's nothing to do with the problem.
you mentioned people of Mt Vernon benefit.
Yes.
So talk about people of Mt Vernon. Will most people from Mt Vernon benefit from a track or from a
Most
tennis?
people from Mt Vernon will benefit from sport.
Sports in general.
Yes.
800
When
people
things are done
signed a
at nighttime, it
petition
makes
a
it
month
fishy. It
ago
doesn't seem right.
with
Y'all would do that in the
testimonials
daytime.
about what
Y'all took the grandstand down in the daytime. in the
So, but
morning.
if you are so concerned with what happened, let me just finish my question.
Sure.
Why didn't you get involved with paying the rent and all these things?
That's misunderstanding. That's the information the mayor is putting out.
Right.
We don't know that in court with everything that's going on under.
But say you was
Just
here
even
last
the
night
way
too,
they
I
handle
understand.
these things, We don't know all this information.
Like you said, you don't know.
Take it down. They don't
Have you
demolish
checked
houses
if to
and
see if it is
stuff
true
at
that
night. They do
the
it in
rent was
morning.
not being
They
paid?
did it last
Rent
night.
for that
It
zombie
was unsafe for the
structure?
workers to do that.
I'm not
Whoever did it.
concerned.
So if it is a zombie structure, why are you so concerned about it with, bringing it down? If it's a zombie structure, as you call it.
Then you
Because
got
the
to
zombie
say
structure is the
City of
steel
Mt Vernon, our
that's holding up
taxpayers
the bubble.
paid money
The
for
bubble that
whoever got
Taylor
hurt.
built
Who's
on
lucky.
The
But
zombie
normally you'll
structure
do things in
was
daytime,
Mount
right?
Mount Vernon's side of the deal. There are no bathrooms, there's no electricity.
I'm saying
It
at
was
night
just
time
done-
it's very
it was-
fishy.
it
I'm
was
saying.
done-
Not now.
shady
You can move
work
forward
because
to
it was done
stand.
1 a.m.
But at nighttime, normally
no
things not done at
information
night.
that something's
You
coming
don't
up.
destroy
You know,
things.
he's just
nobody
been handling
does that
it.
at
The way he's
nighttime.
been handling things is just way wrong.
It's as shady as it
Thank,
gets.
thank you for your time.
It's as shady as it
What
gets. Good
vandalism
luck
is this?
attracting new business. Good luck.
Marcus, we here at the Memorial Field, there is a lot of controversy going on. I see a lot of people from Mount Vernon not happy at all.
That's right.
Especially what happened last night. What do you have to say about this?
Well, it was done wrong. So you don't come in at 12:30 a.m. and destroy people's property. It's just not the way to do it. And the police did absolutely nothing to assist. So it's personal property, city property. Either way, when you come in with flashlights and the axe, it's the wrong way to stop a business's operation.
Now, we hear from the mayor that the place has not paid rent in a long time. You think that is true or not?
What I do know for a fact is that the city breached this contract by not completing the building that the bubble is attached to. So that building was supposed to be completed before the contract was to begin. So Kayla is really correct in spending a lot of money trying to get their bubble attached to that faulty and incomplete building. So that's the real issue. Even the renting of the bathrooms, the trailer bathrooms have cost Kayla a tremendous amount of money when the bathrooms were supposed to be in the building. So if the city had completed that building and Kayla was not paying their money, I would have understood that. But the city breached their contract from jump.
Now, this is a contract that Kayla had with the prior administration, correct?
It doesn't make a difference what administration it is. Once you have a contract with the city of Mount Vernon, whatever mayor it is, still has that contract in hand, whether it be a 15-year contract or a 5-year contract or a 1-year contract.
Now, I'm not disputing that. The new administration has to honor the prior administration's contract. I'm asking this just to make it clear to our audience so they know that this contract was already pre-existent, before Mayor Thomas.
Well, yes, it was pre-existing to Mayor Thomas, yes.
Now, do you remember the terms of that contract? Because for what I hear, the city of Mount Vernon was supposed to handle one part and Kayla was supposed to handle the inside part. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, and Kayla did handle, you can't do the outside part, you can't do the inside part without the completion of the outside part. So as you can see in the building behind me, the outside part, you can look right into the building. There's no surrounding walls with the building. The roof wasn't even completed. So the city breached their contract first. Kayla couldn't complete their aspect at all.
So you think that Kayla not paying the rent was direct consequences for the city not fulfill his part or its part of the contract?
Absolutely not. The city was supposed to complete its portion of the contract first, and then it was supposed to go through. So Kayla spent a lot of money working to secure that building so that their bubble, which is customized and attached to the building, to be able to be operated. If you go into the building, you see a lot of wood framing in there that was supposed to be glass. The city didn't complete their portion of the process, and Kayla spent a lot of money that they could have paid in rent completing that building or getting the building up to par so that the bubble could attach to the building. Once again, I'm going to say the city breached the contract, and that's why Kayla had to scrape together so that their business could operate.
Now, Marcus, you were with the prior administration, correct?
I've worked with the last 3 administrations, so yes.
So that breach of contract was violated by the prior administration. We just spoke with the prior mayor. Did you have any objections back then?
I've said from the beginning, once the city starts something, we are required to finish it. So until you start something else, you need to finish the first thing you started. So I said to the last administration, I said to this administration, finish the tennis center so that we can move forward with Memorial Field.
So why do you think that the prior administration did not finish their end of the bargain?
I can't answer that. Time ran out. There wasn't enough funds. We didn't get an agreement from the county to me, that doesn't make a difference. We're at the stage we're at now. We can only move forward. We can only move forward. And doing more damage to people's personal property in the middle of the night is not the way to do it. So I say, let's continue to try to move forward with this. I think we're going to move forward so that the county takes over the operations of this tennis center, not only the tennis center, but all the Memorial Field. Let them handle it, because obviously Mount Vernon can't do it. Through the last 3-4 administrations, we haven't been able to do it. So let's cede it to the county. Once the county is done as a complete field for everybody, then maybe then we have a new mayor. We could then administer Memorial Field and the tennis center. I'm very clear. I haven't changed my method. It doesn't make a difference what mayor it is. I'm for the city of Mount Vernon and for the people of Mount Vernon. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. And if you need help, I'm here to assist.
So Marcus, but let's make it clear. No one is saying that the tennis field will not be there. For what I hear, it's going to be moved. It's going to be elevated and moved a few feet towards that way. Maybe Kayla will get the contract. Maybe somebody else will. But at the end of the day, the people of Mount Vernon will have a tennis place to play.
With all due respect, that is ridiculous. To pick up the tennis center, which can't be picked up because the cement around it and the gas lines underneath it and the water lines underneath it is a hard true port. So in order to move it, it will cost probably just as much as it was to build it. There's absolutely no cost benefit to moving the field back 12 feet, 15 feet, ridiculous. Whoever came up with that idea needs their brain checked. So the tennis center is where it is. It's going to cost the taxpayers, whether they be Mount Vernon taxpayers or county taxpayers, to move it back 15 feet. If you think that makes sense, go for it. But I don't think that makes sense at all.
Are you saying that the mayor is lying?
The mayor is a liar, and I say that loud and clear. The mayor doesn't make sense to move a building 15 feet. The cost for that is it's a ridiculous amount of money for the benefit of 15 feet. We have other options to expand this field than to move a concrete structure that's in the ground 15 feet. There's no question. You give me the numbers, you get me an engineer to give me the numbers on how much it would cost to move it, and I'll prove to you clearly that it's not worth the cost benefit to do that. We have other options to make this field bigger.
Any suggestions on these other methods?
Yes, my suggestion has always been complete the tennis center as it is. Build.
Too late for that.
Well, I mean, listen, that's the reason why it was done in the middle of the night, so that there can be no reverse action. The real question is why in the middle of the night at 12 a.m.? That's the real question. Who would do that? Who would do that with flashlights and an axe? That's ridiculous. And then the police came and assisted. There's going to be an investigation going on here because it's city property. It's a city asset. That's what's scary. The mayor, and if the mayor admitted today that he allowed it, he permitted it. Ridiculous. Every taxpayer should be furious. Furious.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Question?
Yeah.
What about the handshake deal with the Dirty Dirty? Can you know, the handshake deal that you did with the Dirty Dirt?
There's no, I don't know where you get that deal from.
But was there any deal ever made in regards to this with the Memorial Field and the handshake?
I don't know where you got that. Everything that we've done. Don't listen to gossip.
No, I'm asking you a question.
Well, I'm telling you.
Yes.
There were plans in DPW right now to renovate this structure. Cost estimates, paid the architect, everything was done. Everything's done legally. You hear people, well, you did this. No. Let's focus on what it is. We have a decimated structure that veterans built. We have $1 million structure that serviced over 300 children. And that's down. And that's done through the aegis of the police department and the mayor.
But
that's
sir,
what we ought to talk about.
Sir, but a lot of the stuff that we saw down there was done when you were the mayor.
What stuff like what?
The dirt that was dumped in the back and all that.
No, who said it while I was the mayor?
Well,
some of it was done to create that tennis area. And it was going to be done to have a skateboard park. If you want to talk about it,
no, I'm just asking you and you can tell me.
And I'm telling you. So don't change the subject. The subject is that you illegally, in the middle of the night, with the aid of the police, tore down $1 million structure that was serving 300 people. Don't try to change the subject. This is the subject. We're talking about a runaway administration that has nothing to do with the people.
Well, to a lot of people, the subject is Memorial Field in general.
Well, that's why I'm down here. Of course it's the subject. The subject is, do you see what's happening there?
Yes.
That was a testament to the veterans. That's why they call it Memorial Field. I tried to save that. These people know nothing about historical significance of anything. They know nothing about law and order. That's why in the dead of night, they take the police, that was a cover, and they tear down a black business that was thriving. Anybody would love to have Kayla in their community, not Mt Vernon.
Now, Mayor, there is the allegations that they were not paying rent. They were not paying rent. The people who manage. When you were mayor, were they paying rent on monthly basis?
Let me tell you what happened. We went through a process. Kayla was picked through a process. A lot of people wanted to get the contract to manage the tennis facility. The city made certain promises. We will put the roof on, we would do the infrastructure, we would put the glass in, and they would take care of the interior. The city never did that. So since the city never did it, we made a deal that you don't have to pay rent until we keep our end of the bargain.
And that end of the bargain was your end of the bargain.
My end of the bargain.
So did you keep your end of the bargain?
I lost the election.
Well, you lost the election, but prior to the election,
do you see the structure over there? That structure was done under my administration. We have the plans and everything. It takes time to do it. But as we were doing it, we thought the only fair thing to do is not charge them for stuff that we had not done.
was then a contract? Is that black and white? There is a contract?
Yes, there's a contract to that.
Do you have access to that? Could you provide it to Yonkers Voice?
Mayor,
You could have a copy, that's what I mean.
No, I don't have a copy. You go to the Youth Bureau, speak to the commissioner. He had, because I was not managing it myself, but speak to Commissioner Morton, and he will give you the contract.
So I understand this right, Mayor. You saying there was a deal, and this is a signed deal that would give them the place for free until the city hall.
Not for free, but they wouldn't have. We would not. They would not have to pay rent until we lived up to our bargain. Right now, there's no roof. Right now, there's no walls. Right now, there's not a complete structure.
But until the end of your administration, did you held your part of the deal?
We were working on it. Yeah. If you see, all that was done there now, I did it. We designed it. We put up the steel, and when my term was over, nobody picked it up. They put it up, and all you have to do is go up there and see. They refused. 2 years ago, I went to the mayor. You gotta put a roof on this. They hired an architect, paid him $200,000, and we still don't have a roof.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.